righty, ladies and gentlemen, I know it's getting a little cold outside, but this conversation is about to heat things up. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages and stages, and even the ones making minimum wages, welcome back to another episode of Surviving the Flame, where we have lit conversations with ordinary people doing extraordinary things. And today, as I say many times before, today is truly, honestly, no different. Now, I don't like to I know like I hype up my guests whenever I have them on and everything like that, but no, like this one truly honestly is definitely one of one. When I say like the true definition of a badass, like holy cow, a martial artist, more specifically a blue belt in Brazilian jiu-jitsu, which is tough already. If you guys don't know, definitely look up some clips and just see the training and just everything that it takes just to get just while you're even a white belt, you know what I'm saying? So like, definitely a feat all by itself. She is an ultra athlete who runs with incredible speed, lifts with purpose, and has a true passion, you know, when it comes to strength and conditioning, and is no stranger to competitive sports or athletic training, and graduate from FSU, right?
I did. Yeah, I graduated from SSU.
Freaking graduate from FSU, which is phenomenal already, like, you know, like just so many accolades and so many accomplishments, man. A woman who is truly the pure definition of discipline and hard work. So listeners, if you are listening, lend an ear, because the gems we will drop today is something you will definitely want to hear. And after all the accolades and accomplishments, if you still don't know, then ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the SCF experience, Miss Abigail Crowe.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that was
Dude,
fire.
I legit, I have my own podcast and I'm like, I need to step up my hosting game.
It was
After I heard that. So thank you so much. I'm like, what a confidence boost.
for sure. I make sure we feel good, so that way, you know, when we go ahead and we start everything, you feel good, it flows good, and everything is just natural. You know what I'm saying? So honestly, thank you so much for being here, for being willing to share your story and everything. But let's go ahead, let's get started. First and foremost, put your city on the map, man. Where are you from?
Well, thank you for having me. And I'm from Tallahassee, Florida. The capital of Florida that nobody knows is the capital of Florida.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows is the capital of Florida.
No.
But yeah, so what would you say, if you had to like sum up your childhood growing up in Florida, like how would you sum it up?
Would you sum up my childhood in terms of location or just my childhood in general, as in life, but also life in Florida?
Life in Florida. Let's go there. Life in Florida.
Life in Florida, hot,
Yeah.
sunny, bipolar weather.
Very much.
It was nice, honestly. I think that I'm so spoiled with Florida weather. To me, I know some people hate the heat, but I feel like I'm spoiled with it now. If it's below 50 degrees, it's just unruly for me. I mean,
Yeah, same.
I'm right now, it's September. What is today? September
I think
10th?
it's the 10th. Yep.
10th? Yeah, and I'm wearing a hoodie.
Same.
This is
Yeah, it's
so
like
life in Florida. I think it also boded so well for me being a kid that loves to move around and be active. Like I was just outside all the time. And I don't know if I would have been like that in cold weather. I feel like I would have been such an inside kid had that not been the case.
I get it. Completely understood. So what is one childhood memory that still pushes or motivates you today?
God, that's a good question. I feel like I'm one of those people that I'm like, I don't remember life before six. I don't remember life before 6 years old. Which I'm like, this is not good. I need to start taking some brain supplements. But I would say childhood memory, like the earliest in terms of like active. When I think of me and like what got me into like moving around and moving and shaking and whatnot, it was just always playing in the yard with my dad. My dad was, I think my dad always wanted a boy. And I have an older sister, I have a younger sister, and then I have a younger brother. And we always make the joke that you should have stopped at the second kid because you basically got it done, which was me.
Yeah.
Because he always wanted a boy, he always wanted a son, and I was the tomboy girl kid, and
Mm.
so we would go out and we would just play, like we'd do sports, we would be running around, we'd do sprint competitions, and I was so like anything, he would compete with me, we'd be outside, we'd be doing stuff, and I was always like, I was down for the challenge. And so, and my other sisters, they were just like, no, we won't. And my brother's not
Oh,
super active, so he wouldn't either. And so my
got
dad,
it. Oh
those
man.
are my memories. It's just like playing in the backyard, playing frisbee, playing kickball, like running around, going to the park. My sister and I learned to ride bikes at the exact same time, and she's 3 years older than me. So it was
Wow.
just, yeah, like those are the things that I remember.
So is it safe to say that you have always had that competitive or athletic nature within you?
Yeah, I never considered myself an athletic individual. I consider myself more of a stir crazy individual. Like I just always wanted to move around, and I was
Mhm.
I didn't consider myself competitive either. I considered myself stubborn. Like I
Mm.
was just that kid that it was so I'm such a second child. Like
No.
so
Yeah.
I'm such like a, I want to prove myself and I want to be the best. And,
No doubt.
I feel like firstborns can do no wrong.
Mm.
And second child is just like the crazy one. And that was me, you know.
Yeah, yeah, I completely agree. I'm the second child as well, and like I definitely feel everything that you're saying right now. It is
Second
so
children,
valid.
second children start podcasts.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, seriously. Oh man. Okay, so another question. Did you always what was something that you always wanted to be growing up? Like as a child, as you're growing up and everything, was it something to be what you are today, or was like the mindset that you had growing up, like was it a bit different as far as like what you wanted to achieve and become?
What a wild question, because I have reflected on this in many a journal entries and many walks of mine. And it was, I never actually wanted to be one thing. I think that there was a kid that was like, I want to be a doctor. I want to be
Yeah.
a lawyer. I want to be a firefighter. And I would always shift and change. Really, ultimately, Taveion, what I wanted to be was I wanted to be significant. Like that was the thing that continued to, like, I realized I can look back at journal entries from when I was 14, 15 years old, and it was, I just wanted to be significant in some capacity. And I still feel that now. I think that in the job that I do, I love what I do and I love my job. But in some ways, I think we assign meaning to things. Like I think I assign meaning to the job that I've chosen, and this is where I decide to pursue and put all of my work and my time and effort into. Um, but I could have done it in something else,
Yeah.
and this is just the path that I've chosen, and I want to in it do well. Like I just want to do well, and I've always wanted to contribute something.
I feel that. I feel that. I feel like that's somewhere that I also relate to you on is that I never feel comfortable being in the same group as everybody else. Like it's like I once I graduated high school, I was terrified of ever getting into debt. Join the Marine Corps. Cool. Get into the Marine Corps and everything like that. And like I get back home at the boot camp, Dylan and I would get back and we're like, oh yeah, it was crazy. Ah. And then, I get to my first duty station and I'm like, bro, I'm just like the rest. Like it was like nothing changed. And so like I definitely understand you when you're like you're just not comfortable with just being in just one particular group or box. But it's like if I have the opportunity, why not try to also do this or also become this? Or, try to speak with this person or create a podcast, like whatever the case may be, just expanding your wings as much as possible to the point where that like when it's all said and done, like you have no regrets because you tried and you did everything. So I admire that. That's awesome. Um who or what would you say inspires your discipline growing up?
Growing up, I think it was my sister,
Mm.
because my older sister, I really did, like, she could have gotten me to do anything. I thought that she was good at everything, and I just looked up to her so much, and I wanted to, in some way, I wanted to get the approval that my parents gave her. I think.
Mm,
They were she was like the goody goody child. She was so naturally smart. She was a great singer. She still is. I mean, she's still all these things, but like so creative, just so naturally gifted to me. And I felt like I was just this like awkward, like, energy filled noodle that was just like walking, and I had to work, like I had to work for everything that I wanted. I had to work for my grades. I had to work at sports. I had to work at those. And so she was kind of like that like North Compass for me. Like I was just like
yeah.
if I can just kind of get like her, that would be
Mm,
awesome. And now I actually feel much more inspired by my mom and just knowing her story and some of the things that she's been through. She's truly the strongest person I've ever met. And I think that she has sacrificed so much to allow us to leap off of her shoulders. And I
mm,
feel not a pressure, but just I feel this desire and this drive to continue to uphold the work that she's done for us and
mm,
continue to do the work for her.
yeah.
And, like not let the efforts that she has put in as a mom and the time she's invested to waste. I want to utilize it well.
Absolutely. I love it when you get to a point with a parent where that, like they're able to open up to you about like real life, and it's not like, like the Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny stories, but it's like it's real and it's like, oh wow, like you're a true badass right now.
You
Like,
went
like
through some shit.
yeah, you actually did some stuff, man. Like, but you see them as a person that can't be phased for so long, and then like they remove the veil from your eyes and just let you see some of the things that they had experienced, but like you see it from a different angle because even while they were experiencing it, or even while they were still holding on to those stories, you seen them as someone that just could not be phased. So I think it's a true testament of strength when parents like are able to open up to their children and let them know like like you can do this, you know what I'm saying? Like I went through XYZ ABC, so if I can do this and I can still put on this persona of Superman or Superwoman in a cape, you can do the same thing. So that's truly truly amazing. I also empathize with you, not, I think empathize is the wrong word, but I agree with you as far as like looking up to that older sibling. Like my
Yeah.
brother, same thing, man. I felt like dude could do literally everything. He was phenomenal at sports. I basically had two left feet. It was bad. It was like left, it was bad. So like when it came to a lot of the things that and same thing with him, like I don't know how he made as good grades as he did, but dude literally never paid attention in class and got like straight A's. And I'll just be like, how? Like,
Yeah.
meanwhile, I'm staying up to like 11, 12 o'clock trying to make sure I pass this quiz tomorrow.
Yep.
But yeah, I completely understand. It's a second child thing, man. It's a second child thing. Um,
Hey, but you know what? We have grit, and that
yeah,
counts for something.
what you mean? Hey, it counts for something. It counts for something. If you had to describe yourself as a kid just in 3 words, what would they be?
Neurotic, um, I would say energized and confused.
Mm,
Confused. I think I had so many big feelings and so many different, like, I had, in some ways, I think a lot of depth to me that I literally emotionally didn't have the capacity to handle. Um, I just had so many big feelings and I didn't know how to communicate them. I didn't even have the words or the language to explain those things. And so it's like you're trying to release it in the only way you know how. And the ways that I saw modeled to me as a kid was either like completely dissociating passive aggressive or anger and rage. And so for me, oftentimes it was like I would just get so angry because I had so much energy. I had so many big feelings, and I had a lot of these neurotic tendencies. I just didn't understand. Like I thought, as I started getting older, I realized, oh my God, like not every kid struggle. I think every kid struggles a little bit with like anxiety and confusion, and
yeah.
finding where they belong and stuff like that. But um, I definitely realize now, like I had more than the average child. I had really quite bad, like almost OCD like tendencies, and I was very, very anxious, and I'd get like hyper fixated on things, um, and other kids didn't have that, like
Yeah.
they didn't have it in that way. Like it was to the point where it's like every day at school, I remember I would stay home a couple of days because my stomach, I thought I was sick. I would literally was so so nervous. I didn't realize this, but I was so anxious and nervous that I was about to throw up going to school. And I had stayed home a couple days until my mom realized, oh, she's just anxious. She needs to go to
Yeah.
class, because later in the day my stomach would stop hurting. I wouldn't have to throw up anymore. But it was just, I had no idea, and you don't, when you're 6, 7 years old, you just don't know. And then growing up,
Definitely.
obviously, you learn like what the word anxiety means. You're like, oh, I think I have
Right.
that.
Yeah.
I think
And
I
you start to
struggle
get
with that.
like a better understanding of like, oh
Yeah.
wow, like this is what I was experiencing that whole time.
And
No.
then you can have the tools to work through it. But if you don't even have the language to express what's going on, it's like living with this sickness with no diagnosis. And then, until we can diagnose what the problem is, then we can solve the problem.
That's so true. That's so true. If making a quick transition, actually, your martial, like when I say discipline, like you literally embody discipline. When you put your mind towards something, like I literally see completion. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to you as a martial artist, an athlete, and clearly someone who thrives once again off of discipline, what does a day to day in the life look like for you right now?
Oh God. Okay. I mean, every day it's usually I'm up at 4:45, 5, and then I have one of two things. I'm either starting work pretty early and I'm training clients, or I train myself. So, depending on the day or the week, I train several two-a-days for my own workout sessions. Right now, I'm not training jujitsu because I'm training for an Apex competition, which is a whole other thing, and then also 5Ks and a half marathon. I'm building into those things right now. But with the lifts and the running and everything, yeah, my day is pretty much work, train, get more work done where I'm not training clients to try and grow future stuff that I'm building in my business via online, and then go to like sleep, So
Yeah.
it's either maintain or build business and then train myself. But yeah, I kind of am off and on work until from the time I get up at 5 a.m. to head hitting the pillow at 8:30. I do give myself. I used to be very much like a 15-minute mark schedule type of girl, and now I try to be a little bit better about giving myself time slots to just chill or exist
Yeah.
or relax.
Very important.
Yeah, because I do want to like preface that with my schedule of like, I think the whole notion of the hustle culture, while it is helpful in that I think it inspires some people, for people like me who naturally feel as though I'm never doing enough, it's an extremely toxic culture to be around and a part of, because there's this thing called toxic productivity, which is just doing things for the sake of doing and the image of looking
Mm,
productive.
yeah.
And I fell trapped to that a couple years ago in my business. And it literally, like, when I say burnout, not like, oh, I need a couple days of sleep. It was like I got physically ill, like my blood markers. I got blood work done, and my body was like, "You're unwell. You're
Yikes,
not good."
man.
So
That was actually a follow-on question that I had. Like, because you have so much and so many people that's depending on you, as far as like whether it be for fitness or you still play so many roles. You have the best friend role. I'm pretty sure you are the person that most people come to when they have problems and things like that. You have the role of a daughter, a sister. You know, and still a student to the game. How exactly do you? When you are on the brink or when you're close to like burning out and stuff like that, how do you pull back and pour back into yourself?
trial and error, honestly.
Felt.
I think there's a couple times where you have to go past that point, um, to experience that was too far, because when you're a coach, you're not just a coach to people, but you're also everybody's therapist,
Yeah.
unlicensed therapist, and you are. I'm not a therapist. Let me preface that. And you also, yeah, you have all of the family stuff and your friend stuff, and then your own life, and if you got a partner, you got a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever.
Yeah.
And so it becomes really overwhelming for me personally. I just had to cross that line. And now I'm a little bit better about seeing the signs. My body will physically give me signs, and it will start shutting me down before I can continue. And then also, I am very lucky that I have family and friends, like close family and friends that I communicate with, that they know when they're observing me, when to pull me aside and say like, you seem to be doing too much.
Yeah.
And I just think that we're a little concerned because they can tell my energy changes, my mood changes, my output changes. I just am not. I look a little half dead, to be honest.
Oh man, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are a part of this hustle culture, it is very hard to dive in and then, forget that you still need to come up for air and breathe. So in the drive and the hustle and everything, don't forget that you still have to replenish, yourself. You still have to pour back into yourself. And it's okay too. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to pour back into yourself the same thing that you're pouring into, whether it be your passion, your goals, your dreams, other people. It is okay to also give yourself love. You know what I'm saying? I know it's hard to, depending on what schedules and everything looks like, but please definitely do so. And then also, same thing that Abigail was saying, like, make sure that you are recognizing the signs within yourself. Like if your body's telling you or letting you know, like, hey, I'm getting more tired, I'm not eating, I am neglecting certain relationships that should not be neglected, or whatever the case may be. Make sure that you are taking the proper steps to step back and then, recuperate, regenerate, whatever it needs to happen. So that way you can go forward and still, give it everything that you got. Uh,
Yeah, one piece of advice actually, real quick, if I
yeah,
can.
go ahead for sure.
What helps me personally, hustle, the people on social media, like they're lying. The people who say that they don't ever take vacation, the people who say that like I worked every day and I did never take a day off. Yeah, okay, working every day can also look like 2 hours of work one morning and then taking the rest of the day off. So I also think that people have a delusional sense of what kind of work block they've been into. Um, it's just delusional. I mean, there are times of my life where I've worked really hard, but also like I've taken days off or I've taken afternoons to chill or I've had fun experiences during. So, first of all, like it's a lie. What people say that it's very rare people who are literally working 16-hour days, 365 days a year. Like it's just
Yeah.
so there's that. And then the piece of advice is if you feel yourself getting to that place of like I both feel burnt out and also I'm just feel like I'm not doing enough, get off of social media for a couple of days. Like literally just take a time off. I can't tell you how good I feel when I just go off of Instagram and Facebook. Even though it's part of my job, it's like I'll schedule posts and just
Yeah.
have them scheduled out so I don't have to go on there. I feel so much better because when you go outside of that and you go into the real world, you realize like everybody actually takes time off. Everybody is human. Everybody needs to rest. Everybody's got to sleep. Like
Yeah.
it's just how it is. So that's
I think
that's
that's
my
the
little
biggest thing.
token.
No, for sure, and I appreciate that. I think, like, the biggest thing is that, like, people just need to understand that it is okay to take rest. It is okay to, like you just said, that key word, be a human being. Like, we're not robots. We actually need fuel. We actually need to, like, take a step back, and things of that nature. So, but, I mean, we are still living in a world where things like that are not necessarily praised or recognized. Everybody just sees, like, the finished product. No one sees, like, the journey, and I think a lot of people need to realize that everyone's journey looks different, and that's okay.
That's so I love that you said that, Tavion, because honestly, you comparing yourself like I don't know if you're religious or not, I don't know if people in your podcast are religious, but I'm a Christian and I personally believe it's like God's plan for you has nothing to do with anybody else.
Yeah,
Like and so you trying to compare your life and where you are to somebody else. First of all, you have no idea who that person is. And second of all, it is you literally looking, it's essentially saying to God, I don't have faith in whatever plan you have for me because this one looks better. And and so I'm saying this as somebody who's had to tell myself and like pray these prayers to for me.
mhm,
But it's like your path is not necessarily like it's your choice, but it's not. Like it is you're the funnel for which God moves through you. And so
exactly.
you need to have faith and let him walk you where you're supposed to go. And I just think why do you want it? Why God doesn't want an unhealthy soldier, man. So like you've got to rest and you've got to be able to rest in knowing that what timeline are you rushing for?
Yeah,
Like You know, because also when you get there, what are you gonna do? Me personally, I'm 25. I get everything I want at 25. Is that
Then
it?
what?
Then
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
Exactly. You know, and when you look back at it and you see everything that you've built, it's like the whole point of this thing is the process. So, and if you're somebody who is a hustler and who wants to constantly grow, then you better get really used to the uncomfortable nature of the process because that's going to be your whole life. So,
Oh my goodness, that was bars. That was amazing. That was amazing, man. Gosh, I see. This is what I'm talking about. I'm so excited to have this conversation.
I'm excited to be having it. It's so fun.
I was saying, so out of all of your passions, jujitsu, running, lifting, the competitions, all of those things, which honestly has tested you the most mentally? Even if you had to pick like a specific run or a specific event or a specific training day, whatever the case may be, which one do you feel like tested you the most on a mental level?
On a mental level, I would say the biggest, the most like fundamental sport in my life was track in high school, and it was because I hated it and I didn't appreciate it, and it changed who I was as a person because it's one of those things where uh, what you put in is what you get out. It is not, oh, I had a lucky shot, I had a lucky submission, you know, and there is obviously there's work into it, but also you can get when you've got opponents, you can have a little bit of luck can be involved.
Yeah,
And with track, it was like, no, you are going to whatever work you put in, that's what you're going to see on a month later on the day of the track meet. And with my performance anxiety that I struggled with too, it was just one of those things where I had to every single time I had a track meet overcome something in myself that was screaming at me to not show up, to not do, to not go,
hmm
on top of the fact that I already didn't appreciate or love track in general. So I just think that the sport of track is it so mental because it's like you're having to there's your physical limits and then there's your mental limits, and your mental limits are they're you gotta train those more than your physical. I think
for
at
sure.
least I did, and so with running it was showing up to practice and putting in the work and then showing up to the meet and then actually performing. It was really, really fundamental to the discipline that I have now, I think.
Yeah, it sounds like there were a lot of exhausting days and a lot of exhausting preparation that went into the performance itself. And like as you're talking about it, I didn't really think about how like that buildup is, because you have to have some type of skill or some type of training beforehand. Then you do the tryout. Then you still have to put in the expectation plus your own standard, because you've experienced, your team speed and now you're judging your own speed and you're like, okay, well, I have to prepare for whoever else's speed is going to be up on the track, on day of the competition. So it's like there's a lot that plays into it, and then come game day, you still have to execute. So it
Mhm.
sounds like a lot, but like honestly, how would you say or articulate the feeling of how you felt after a track meet?
Uh, uh, Twofold. I think I both felt I realized this later.
Mhm.
Um, the first thing was I felt relief. That I felt immediately. It was like, thank God that it's done, you know?
Right, yeah.
But what I realized I was feeling later on, and I feel this now in any hard thing that I do and I show up for, is you get a little bit more confidence. You gain a little
Mhm.
bit more confidence, and you also in doing something hard and doing it to completion, you are earning respect for yourself. And I think that makes me more confident in the fact that it's like I can do hard things. I can show up for things that I set out to do, and I can respect the person that I'm becoming because I've said I'm going to do this and I did it. I actually did it. And I did it to the best of my ability.
There you go. There you go. I feel like I really truly hope everyone experiences what that looks like and what that feels like when you tell yourself you're going to do something. and then you actually do it. Like, um, a lot of people love to make promises on January 1st and December 31st. And it's
Mhm.
just like you don't have to wait until the beginning or the end of the year in order to start now. Start at 25, start at 30, start Monday, Tuesday, Friday, start at 6 p.m., start at 11:59. It doesn't matter. Just start. Because once you start and then you give yourself daily milestones to accomplish or to complete, the more you keep doing that, you'll start to see the results of everything, but you'll never see anything if you just don't start. So like that is truly, truly amazing. Um Now we're going to well, no, before we transition there, when you think about the version of yourself today, what are you most proud of?
It is very that is crazy. I usually do not reflect positively on
Yeah,
on
no,
my I struggle to
I
reflect
feel you.
positively on myself. What am I the most proud of? I think I'm most proud of the fact that even with the I think even with the mental stuff that I struggle with, the negative self-talk, the constant doubts, I continue to show up. I and the person that like little Abigail would look at me now and she would both understand like we're not done, but also be extremely proud of I think I'd be impressed by me. I think
Mm.
I would be somebody that would look at me and be like, she's cool. Like
I love that, man. That
she's
is
pretty cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
That is
And
awesome.
so to think about that is that feels good because little Abigail is always looking up to people and looking at other people. Oh, I hope I like. Oh, she's cool. Like I want to be like her, you
Yeah.
know. And so to be like, if little Abigail were right here right now, I think she'd probably think Big Abigail's pretty cool.
That is awesome. That is truly amazing. All right, guys. Now we are going to be transitioning into our favorite part of the podcast called Questions from the Fire Pit. Now, Abigail, Questions from the Fire Pit. The way that this is set up is that we have random questions asked from families, friends, and social media individuals who have seen your life and things like that. And basically, what they want to know is a few things here and there, a few curveballs, whatever the case may be. You have 30 seconds, 30 seconds to think about it. Okay.
Okay.
30 seconds to think about it and a minute to give your initial response. Now, following that, I'll probably ask like why or, dig a little deeper, whatever the case may be. But you have 30 seconds to think about it. And then you have a minute to get like your initial thought of it all out there. Now, like, honestly, depending on what the question is, 30 seconds can go by really slow or it can go by really fast. Same
Yeah.
thing with a minute. It can go by really slow or really fast, but don't think too hard about it. It's totally fine. Um Question first, are you ready?
I am ready. So I can like sit in silence. The audience knows that
Yeah.
there's a pause. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, they're gonna know it's fine.
Okay.
So first question is let me get a timer out.
Oh my
First.
God, you're actually timing me.
Oh yeah, no, so serious, so serious. Uh, but first question is, will we ever get another episode of your podcast, Bar T? All right, and you ready? All right, 30 seconds. Think about it. You totally fine.
I gotta formulate this because this I have the answer, but I need to formulate how I'm gonna say it.
Nah, you good. You good.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Alrighty. Okay. So, and give your answer.
TLDR, no.
Mm.
I love Bar Talk. I loved the podcast. It was the most fun thing to film. But the thing about Bar Talk is there were two hosts. It was me and my good friend. And it just was not in the cards for us to continue podcasting together. And so Bar Talk will not continue. But yeah, on that note, I love that people loved it. And
Yeah.
I definitely still listen to episodes myself because it was truly like not even trying to be totally being cocky here. I thought it was a freaking awesome podcast. So
Yeah, no, honestly, if you guys have not listened to Bar Talk, it is truly amazing. You can definitely just tell like the chemistry, the vibes, everything. It's such like a fun listen to. So if you guys haven't to go ahead and make it over to your favorite podcast platform, whether that's Apple Podcasts or Spotify, whatever the case may be, and listen to an episode of Bar Talk, which by the way, which is also freaking amazing. That was your first one, right? Like your first actual.
first ever podcast.
Okay, a lot, like I said, a lot of people love to make promises, but it's so hard to like actually like keep them. And for those of you who are not familiar with how podcasting and clipping and things like that work, if you don't know what you're doing, it could take a bit of time to get used to it.
Correct.
The creators of Bar Talk started, and when I tell you they did not stop, like every week it was something new and it was so genuine. It was amazing. So there are a lot of episodes on there just to say that, if you have not listened to them. But yeah, and then also, if you will, let people know about your current podcast that you have now.
Yeah, no, it's totally different vibe than Bar Talk. Bar Talk was definitely like a light fun. I mean, it was we talked about fitness related things. It was two
Mhm.
trainers, shooting the shit, but it was much more informal. My Alchemical Life podcast is definitely more educational in nature. I have guests on, and then there's me just talking into the ether, but it's a lot more educational content. So if you're interested in fitness from an educational perspective, you want to learn more about it, you want to get good information, and then you also want to have I have guests on that are just absolutely incredible. And I also have personal guests, my mom and friends of mine and things like that. But that's the Alchemical Life podcast that's one that I would go to. If you're wanting to just get some like lighthearted fun, then go listen to the old Bar Talk episodes. Those are great. Yeah.
Yeah, the podcast that you had with your mom, oh my gosh, that was amazing. That was
Yeah.
amazing. That was deep. And I
Yeah.
was like, wow, man, like that was truly awesome. Hopefully I can get my mom on here. We'll see. But next question is, hold on, let me reset this one here. Um, Next question we have is, who is someone, alive or gone, you'd love to roll, run, or work out with, and why?
This is a tough one.
It's okay. It's only 30 seconds.
Okay, I've got it.
Alrighty. And go.
This answer is technically twofold because the one person that I'd really wanted to work out with was Blaine McConnell, and he is now my boyfriend. And so we actually train together now. He was somebody that I admired as a coach and watched him for forever, and now we'll train together. So it's
Oh, that full circle.
I
That's
know it's
awesome.
incredible. And then I'm his fangirl. And then the person that I would pick now is Joe Rogan, just because
Facts.
one, he's got a martial arts background and just be fun to train with him. But it'd be fun to work out with him. And I think that he's such a good conversationalist. He's somebody that I'd really want to talk to. He's somebody that I consider almost like the cool uncle. Like I'd have so many
Yeah.
questions that I'd want to ask him about business and life. And so selfishly, that's why I'd want to train with him. We do probably very little training and rolling and a lot
Yeah.
more just like
Conversation.
gaining
Y-
insight. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, understandable, understandable. Okay, so oh wow, you're doing really good on like whenever you're done thinking, it's like 30 seconds on the dot. Whenever you're done talking, it's like you still got like 2 seconds left. But
Really?
I'm
Wow.
loving it. Yeah, like it's natural, man. It's
My
natural.
pacing is good.
Yeah, no, seriously, seriously. Um, what is what's one silent battle you fought that made you stronger? I'll say it again. What is one silent battle that you fought that has made you stronger? Take your time.
Okay.
Wow, that was kind of fast. All
Is
right.
it? Okay, well,
It was faster than the other
the
one.
1 minute is gonna be one where you'll probably have to cut me off because it's
Okay. No, no,
yeah,
no. You're actually good. You're good. All right. You ready?
yeah. Uh, it's a battle I feel like I continue to fight in different ways, and it's the one in my brain. And but I would say if I could give it an example, it's the one that always tells me that I'll never be able to do anything. It's the one that's like you're a burden and you suck and who do you think you are and these other people are way better and to me it's just the devil constantly talking to me like trying to sabotage the beautiful life that I could be living. And
That you
so
are living.
that I am living. True. Well, I mean, hey, prison, hell is locked from the inside, man. So
Mm,
it's just like, you got to get yourself out there. But anyways, I think that the one that I battled that I got through was me deciding to start my own business. Being able to leave Momentum Fitness and literally go into my garage and just be like, let me just start training people. And then now to say I can successfully say I've run a very successful, not just like lucratively, but like a very successful, high retention, very happy clients business for almost 2 years now, or a year and a half now. That's I had to get over a lot of self doubt, negative self talk to be able to do that.
that is truly amazing. And I feel like a lot of people always constantly talk to themselves or say to themselves, like, like, oh, like I'm only from Tallahassee. I'm from nowhere town. I'm only 20 something odd years old. I'm only some teen years old, like, or I'm too old or I'm too young or I'm too that. Like, honestly, the only thing that stops us from having what we really want in life is us. You know what I'm saying? Unless like you're just a psychopath and you want to do like some crazy ish, then the law. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But, like, outside of that, like, truly the only thing that stops you from being as great as you want to be or that you can be is you. Like, someone told me not too long ago, like, they asked me, like, "What's the richest place in the world?" Some people would say Dubai or Singapore or whatever the case may be, and, like, no, bro, it's the graveyard that's right down the street because so many people have goals and dreams and ideas and never do anything with them. They and ultimately they end up taking those same dreams and those same goals with them to the grave. Don't do that. You know what I'm saying? We all have been blessed with the ideas and the encounters with other individuals and just life, and it is going to prosper something. Whatever it prospers, whatever it creates, go with it. Take a shot, take the chance. You know what I'm saying? Like, the worst thing that can happen is it didn't work and you can try it again, or it didn't work and it opened up a door for you to take another opportunity.
Yeah, because you
So
come with all the skills that you acquired in your failures too.
yes, that one right there. Bars again. That's just man, it's I really hope people take risk, like you don't have a lot. Honestly, is life really truly worth living if there's no risk that you take with it? Is life truly all of that like, can you really look on your life if you just stayed in the lines of what other people told you to do, of, just no you never took a chance to do anything? Can you and there are some people who like to live that way. If that is you, completely cool, completely fine,
Mhm.
you do you. But, like, for those who eager for change or eager to have like these big dreams and big goals, do know and understand you don't get it until you take a risk, until you say, you know what, this is comfortable, but if I truly want to grow, I have to be uncomfortable, and sometimes it takes an uncomfortable change or situation or even conversation in order for you to get there. So take risk, take risk, take risk, and eventually you'll see that it was all worth it. Um, Now I have another question from the fire pit. You wake up in a room with every single person you've ever met. Who do you look for first and why? I'll say it again. You wake up in a room with every single person you've ever met, dead or alive. So this is a pretty big room and a lot of people are in it. But who's the first person that you look for? The first person that you look for will be counted into 1 minute. The why is whatever, whatever. All right. In 30 seconds. First person that you would look for in a room full of everyone you've ever met. That's teachers, mentors, significant others, parents, siblings, anyone. Best friends, worst enemies.
I've got it.
All right. Literally, bro, 29 seconds, bro. This is
Look at
freaking
me.
amazing. All right. Ready?
Yeah.
All right.
I would probably look for my grandpa who passed away. My my grandpa was to me like the closest thing in terms of like God's love that I could have felt as a kid. I think he was the one person in my life that I felt I didn't feel like a burden around him. I didn't feel like my energy was too much, my anxiety was too much, my big feels were ever too much for my grandpa. He was just he was just the guy that was just chilling there and he would just love you as you were. And we always had this we always had this thing where I was playing ball with him one day and he dropped he like could he just like couldn't even wasn't even close to catching it. He's just like this old dude.
Yeah.
And I would look at him and I was like, "Oh, you're pitiful, Grandpa." And it was this thing that we would joke about for like years until he passed away. But he's like, "Oh, I'm just pitiful. Oh, you're just pitiful." And I was in a meditation years after he had passed, and I was really, really struggling just mentally. And as I was doing it, I went into like almost this like very I went into a weird state. And I could like see and hear my grandpa, and he just looked at me and he was like, "You're not pitiful." I started crying. Like I started bawling in that meditation. And so whenever I go through something really hard, with him, I just hear his voice and he's just like, "I just love you and you're not pitiful." So I would look for him.
That is beautiful. Oh, man. Yeah.
We're
So
gonna get
that is
milk
a
on here.
pulling on my heartstrings a little bit. That was deep. Oh man. But I expected that one to be.
Yeah.
That was beautiful, beautiful answer. Final question from the fire pit. If discipline had to have a spirit animal, what would yours be? If discipline had to have a spirit animal, what would yours be? And start.
Think I think I know my answer.
It's all good. It's all good. Go ahead.
I think I need to find an animal that just continues to go. Like could just kind of go forever,
Oh, no.
like a pack mule, you
No,
know?
yeah, yeah. Doesn't see a stop
It's what
sign.
I
Just keeps going.
imagine it to be. Just like that's what discipline is. It's just like sometimes you're moving quick, sometimes you're trudging, but like either way, you're putting in the miles. Like you're doing the thing. You're showing up.
Yeah.
That's what I imagine. A horse maybe. Like
Yeah, like, honestly, that's honestly a good description.
it's not like any animal that you would necessarily associate with as being super super impressive.
Yeah,
They're
just
just
one that just doesn't have, like, a gas tank in it, like, it's like a bottomless gas tank in a
just
sense of just
reliable. What is that
yeah.
camel?
Yeah, honestly, like, you're not looking for, like, the fastest or the strongest, just one that is just gonna go at the end of the day.
Yeah, they
That
could
is
just go
impressive.
forever.
Honestly, if you wanna be completely honest, I think you are your own spirit animal because, like, even I'm struggling to come up with something. Because at first I was like, "Maybe like a lion?" And I'm like, "Well, no, lions are ferocious, but I mean, like, they have, like, their lazy times." And I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
maybe like a special eagle." And I'm like, yeah, but I mean, like, they also have their" but, like, literally, yo, people listening, man, Abigail literally does not quit she does not quit. Like, I like to do research. I like to do research on people that I interview. So, like, I look through, like, Facebook, social media, and stuff like that, just, like, public information about the individual. There is literally no stopping point with you, man. Like, that is impressive. In today's day and age, you see people quit and stop and say that they're going to do stuff and don't even give it, like, a full month. Not even like, some don't even wait until the season is over before they quit. Literally, you just don't stop. That is impressive. Like,
See, I don't see it as impressive. I see it as like, what the hell else am I gonna do, dude?
like, that is, oh, I
Like, what
I
else
absolutely love
what
it.
else I gotta do? I got
Yeah.
nothing else to do other than just keep going, you know? So there's no and also to me, it's like life is a struggle either way, you know? Are you gonna you get to I'd prefer to choose my struggle, man.
Bro,
So
the bars. Golly, man. This is amazing. This is amazing. All right, transitioning out of the questions from the fire pit. What has your you did say you are a spiritual religious individual. What would you say, how has God served as a beacon of light in your life during one of your darkest times?
oh, I can give you a specific example. I was on a walk and I was burnt out from work. I think I had just decided to start my own business, or I was in the process of starting my own business. And I was I was struggling. I was struggling hard mentally. I was struggling with an eating disorder. I was like just in my head. It felt honestly, Tavion, like I woke up and my head would just start going and going and going in these like hyper fixated thought loops. Like just it wouldn't shut. It was exhausting. Like I would wake up exhausted and I'd go to bed exhausted. And the only reprieve I would get was sleep. And on this walk, it was my brain was looping so hard and I fell to my knees. I was not necessarily I'd not prayed, I can't tell you in so long. I grew up religious and I went away for a while. And I fell to my knees and I just said, God, I don't know. I believe that you exist. I don't know who you are. I don't know if you're hearing me. Um, but I can't hear you and I need you to take this from me because I can't do it anymore. I literally can't do it anymore. I can't hold this. And if I have to hold it anymore, I won't. Like I can't. And God spoke to me about a week later, and he just in a meditation he said, "I will only ever speak to you in peace." And so now, knowing for me how God serves me is just the fact that I know that I do not have to do it myself. Like I can alleviate myself of the responsibility of having to have it all under control and having to have it all figured out, because I don't. You know, the only one thing that I'm certain of is that I'm extremely uncertain as to what's going on and what the future is going to hold for me. And when I feel that uncertainty just weighing on my whole soul, I can give it away. And it doesn't always feel like a giving away, but I can at least go to prayer and say, I don't know what your plan is for me, but allow me to be your servant, and I pray that you work through me and you build me into the person that you can work through me at any cost.
This That was powerful. That was really, really powerful. Oh my goodness, that was really deep. I had a similar encounter, kid you not, yesterday.
Oh,
Yesterday,
wow.
I don't know, like, what was good because I'm currently in this transitional period. Currently in this transitional period in life where, like, things things are kind of where, like, since I for those who know my story growing up, like, I did not I because of the way that I grew up and everything, I like to always have a plan, and I always think about worst case scenarios and stuff like that. So, but like I said, sometimes you have to take risk, and I think this is the first time in my adult life that I lit like I prayed about this for about a solid 2 years. I knew that this certain transition was coming up, and I knew that this part of my life was coming up, and I knew that if I wanted to achieve the goal that I wanted to achieve, and if I wanted to achieve the goal that I wanted to achieve, I knew that I would completely have to not be in control. And not being in control when you have a wife and a kid that's depending on you, like, not being in control looks terrifying, you know, but, like, the joy that I received after I broke down yesterday was knowing that even though I'm in this transitional period, we're all good. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I like, faith and fear require you to do the same thing. It requires you to look at something and believe it even though it's not there. Like, faith requires you to say, or fear requires you to say, like, what if, what if this or what if that or what, like, but faith requires you to say, even if, like, I don't get.
I just had my
Mhm.
mom gave me that like 2 weeks ago, dude.
For
That
real.
same what if even if. I'm not even
Yeah.
lying. That is
No, you
crazy.
good.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah. And it's especially like when, like, you have like you just said, like, so much weight on you, you know what I mean? Like, and yesterday I just felt so much, bro. It was really bad. Like, I could just feel, like, the devil in a way, like, talking to me and just talking me down of everything, and I was just like, and it's crazy because honestly, and I was talking to my wife about this. It didn't start to hurt until I said it back. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one thing when you hear the voices in your head, like, on a sense of like, oh, you're not good enough, or you're not this, or you're not that, or there's no way you're gonna achieve blah blah blah. But then when you say it back, bro, like, oh man, like, it hurts so bad. But I had to remember, you know what I mean? Like, this is what faith looks like. Faith looks like, even even when things are, like, for crying out loud, Moses led a multitude of people through the Red Sea, and it just split. You know what I'm saying? Like, when they got there, they looked back and they were like, "Bro, honestly," now this is paraphrased, of course, but they were like, "Honestly, we're just going to just die. Let's just go back to Egypt. He's
Yeah.
already right there. Let's just give ourselves up and let's just die." You know what I'm saying? And I felt like, in a sense, I'm at the Red Sea, and my like, life is behind me, and it's like and it's running really, really fast. And I'm like, but even if, you know what I'm saying? This even if nothing comes out on the other end of this, you know what I'm saying? Even if, the plans that I have for myself, don't end up flourishing or anything like that, like, I I am comfortable with knowing that God has already done enough. You know what I'm saying? I have a beautiful family. I married my high school sweetheart. I have a beautiful daughter. I have a home. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have I have things that some people may look down on. I have some things that some people look up to. But at the same time, though, like, I've shared life with certain individuals. I've inspired individuals. I've created a podcast. God has helped me, and He has done amazing things in my life. So even if I don't achieve the things that I dreamed of achieving and stuff like that, bro, just being here in this moment, having this amazing conversation with you, like, honestly, it's okay. It is okay, and it is totally fine because he's already done enough. If you look at just 10 years ago, bro, 10 years ago, I was kicked out of my house. I had holes in my shoes. I was wearing the exact same clothes to school. I had 3 outfits. I wore the same thing to school every day, just try to dress it up differently. Like, I was hella depressed, filled with anxiety. If that version of me could see me now, bro, like, I'm saying, if I don't achieve the things that I'm risking it all for right now, honestly, God has already done enough.
But the thing
So.
is, this Taveion is also in in your faith in God, like he's looking at you and he's like, "You've done enough. Now it's time. It's
Mm,
my time."
Yeah.
And in these moments where you have to, this is God just saying, this is where you have to let me lead you. And I think it's in those times of the greatest uncertainty where we are required to have the most faith, the most incredible things get to happen. If we have faith. Because what happens is what we think we want and what we think we need and what we think we is still all constrained by our own beliefs, our own desires, and our own self limitations. And I
Facts.
think that when we can take ourselves and get rid of those notions, like God's gonna take you even cooler places.
Yeah.
And you have a skill, like you on this podcast right now, being able to engage, being able to the fact that you reached out to me, that we are having this conversation, like this is something that you are extremely good at. It's a skill that not everybody has. And so I don't know what your aspirations are, what your dreams are, but I do know that I think that God has incredible plans for his children, and it is our job to listen and just to continue to work. This verse, Galatians 6:9, is one that just I repeat all the time, which is just never stop doing good. It's the summarized is never stop doing good because in due time you will reap if you just
Mhm.
continue to do good.
Yeah.
And I always say there's two phrases is operate in service to others, and take me out of the equation.
There we
I'll
go.
always, and then also be a funnel. Be a funnel for which God can move through. And if I do those two things, I'll never land in the wrong spot. I might not land
Man.
where I think I'm supposed to go, but I'll never land in the wrong spot. I think that's how it is for you, man. I think that you are in a time of great excitement and great both uncertainty, but in that uncertainty, there's so much opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it every single day, man. Like, and it's like you said, man, just gotta have faith and honestly just keep being me and keep living in the light that I feel like God is taking me, and I feel like everything else will fall into place. Like he hasn't failed me yet. You know what I'm saying? So, um, final question that I have here for you is when it's all said and done, man, when it's all said and done, what kind of legacy do you want to leave, both as an athlete and just simply as a person?
This is the hardest question I think you've asked me. The last question is the hardest question I think you've asked me. Um, I think I want to leave a legacy of I want people whether they put it this way, whether they believe in God, whether they don't believe in God, I want people to feel me as being a funnel. I want people to when they're around me, they're like she is a light. Like she is a servant of the Lord. And in whatever way that is, bringing peace, bringing joy, bringing love, bringing work, bringing effort, bringing service. That is what people know me as, and that's what I leave. I want to, of course, do awesome, incredible things, and but I don't need to be the girl that's known for like running 100 miles or running her own business and being a badass. Like I want people to know me as like she was somebody that was just like she was the type of person that I could rely on anytime for anything and I always wanted to be around.
That is beautiful. That is absolutely amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, surviving the flame, people. Come on now. Come on now. Where are you gonna find more amazing conversations than two podcast hosts, second children of their family, just out here
Absolutely.
just dropping straight gems, man. Abigail, today you've shown us exactly what you've shown us that being an athlete isn't just about strength. You know what I'm saying? You showed us it's about discipline. It's about the mindset and the heart that you put into it. You've given us a glimpse into what it means to what it means to push yourself beyond your limits or beyond limits in general, to face challenges head on and to grow through the process that has made you who you are. You know what I'm saying? And I just honestly just want to say thank you so much for sharing your journey with us. To the listeners, I hope that you were able to catch some of these gems that were dropped during this conversation, about how resilience is built, discipline is chosen, and strength is as much mental as it is physical. You know what I'm saying? Abigail, actually, before we sign off, is there any final piece of advice, encouragement, or wisdom you'd like to leave with the people that are tuning in, or more specifically, that little girl, little boy, or even the adults who are tuning in that aspire to be someone like yourself?
Do something do something today to show gratitude for the life you're currently living, and do something today that will allow you to hit your head on the pillow and feel proud of yourself. It doesn't have to be a big thing. It doesn't have to be a big accomplishment. I think you continue doing those things, and I think also just do something today that serves other people. I feel like we are so in this society locked in on our own self, on our own worries, on our own anxieties, on our own failings or our own desires. And I've never felt worse when I focus more on myself, to be honest. I always feel better and more fulfilled when I do something for other people. So do something to make yourself proud, and do something to serve other people, and do something to show gratitude for the fact that you are alive. It's rare. It's very rare that you're here right now. This is a blessing. So whether it feels like a blessing or not, it is a blessing. And so thank you so much. Dude, thank you so much for having me on. This is so much fun.
Yeah, I thank you, thank you. You know what I'm saying? And that's crazy because at the end, I normally like to have like a quote of the day, and it's crazy that you said that because the quote of today is, "If you can't do great things, do small things in a great way." So I feel like that's basically exactly what you just said. So thank you so much just for sharing your light, to someone who's probably in a very dark spot, and even helping me be more vulnerable, and come out with some truths of my own. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, thank you for tuning in to Surviving the Flame, where we have lit conversations with ordinary people doing extraordinary things. If you feel compelled to share your own story, please shoot me an email at taveion.mickens@outlook.com, and we can keep that flame lit that burns within you. In the meantime, give this podcast an honest, good rating. Share it with a broke best friend or a rich family member. And until next time, good people, grind always and never ever forget to spread kindness. We love you. This is Surviving the Flame.